Welcome to Dreamtale Sleep Stories. Tonight's reading is The Restaurant of Confusion. Settle into your bed or sofa and let your shoulders, jaw, and eyelids grow heavy. Inhale slowly. 1, 2, 3, and sigh the air away, allowing the day to fade into quiet dark. With every soft inhale, you invite fresh English phrases. With every gentle exhale, stray thoughts drift farther off. Behind my voice flows a gentle 528 Hz melody, renowned for guiding the mind toward deep relaxation. Keep your eyes closed or follow the captions, whichever feels right. Simply receive the rhythm and resonance of the language. Deep in rest, tonight's phrases will take root like seeds, ready to bloom into stronger English skills with the morning light. When you feel settled, hold that unhurried breath and allow yourself to drift into the tale. The Restaurant of Confusion begins now, and when the story's final line has faded, the music will linger a little longer, carrying you gently deeper into sleep. The Restaurant of Confusion. Maria had always dreamed of becoming a famous chef since she was a little girl watching cooking shows on television. After graduating from culinary school in Barcelona, she decided to open her own restaurant in London, where she had moved to start her new adventure. She found a small place near Covent Garden and spent all her savings renovating it into a cozy restaurant with 20 tables. The restaurant, which she named Maria's Kitchen, had a warm atmosphere with yellow walls and pictures of Mediterranean landscapes. Maria was confident about her cooking skills, but there was one big problem. Her English wasn't very good yet. She had only been studying the language for 6 months before moving to London, and she often confused similar-sounding words. On the opening day, Maria was both excited and nervous. She had hired 2 waiters, Tom and Lucy, who were university students looking for part-time work. Tom was tall and always smiling, while Lucy was short, with curly red hair and a great sense of humor. They both liked Maria immediately because she was kind and enthusiastic, even though communication was sometimes difficult. "Maria, are you sure about these menu translations?" Lucy asked, looking at the menu that Maria had written herself. "This says chocolate spaghetti with fish tears." Maria nodded confidently. Yes, is very special recipe from my grandmother. Customer will love." What Maria had actually meant to write was cocoa-dusted pasta with anchovy sauce. But her translation had gone terribly wrong. Lucy and Tom exchanged worried glances, but decided not to say anything more. They didn't want to hurt Maria's feelings on her first day. The first customer arrived at noon, an elderly gentleman named Mr. Thompson, who lived in the neighborhood. He studied the menu carefully through his reading glasses, his eyebrows rising higher with each item he read. "Excuse me, young lady," he said to Lucy. "What exactly is angry chicken with sunset sauce?" Lucy tried to keep a straight face. It's our chef's special interpretation," of spicy grilled chicken with tomato sauce, sir. And this ice cream of the fish? Mr. Thompson continued, looking more puzzled. That would be our seafood sorbet, Lucy invented quickly. Very refreshing. Mr. Thompson continued. Thompson decided to play it safe and ordered what seemed like the most normal item on the menu: grandmother's crying soup. When it arrived, it turned out to be a delicious French onion soup, though nobody could explain why it was crying or what it had to do with anyone's grandmother. As the day progressed, more customers arrived, each one more confused than the last. A young couple ordered the romance salad with broken dreams dressing, which turned out to be a Caesar salad with too much vinegar. A businessman asked for the Monday morning pasta, expecting something simple, but received spaghetti that was inexplicably blue. Maria had accidentally used purple cabbage water instead of regular water to cook the pasta. The kitchen was becoming more chaotic by the hour. Maria was cooking with passion and creativity, but her interpretations of her own menu were unpredictable. When someone ordered happy fish with laughing vegetables, she served grilled salmon surrounded by vegetables she had arranged to look like smiling faces. It was actually quite charming, even if it wasn't what anyone expected. Tom was running between tables, trying to explain the dishes to confused customers. The green sauce? Oh, that's pesto that our chef made with mint instead of basil. It's very unique. By 3 o'clock, something unexpected started happening. People were beginning to enjoy the surprise element of dining at Maria's kitchen. A food blogger named Jessica Chen had wandered in by accident and was fascinated by the experience. "This is brilliant," Jessica exclaimed to her dining companion. "It's like culinary Russian roulette. You never know what you're going to get." She started taking photos of every dish and posting them on social media with captions like, "Ordered confused potatoes," and "got sweet potato gnocchi with cinnamon. Surprisingly delicious. Hashtag Maria's Kitchen. Hashtag food adventure." Her posts started trending, and within an hour, there was a line of curious people outside the restaurant. Everyone wanted to experience the mysterious menu for themselves. Maria noticed the growing crowd and became even more enthusiastic. She started creating dishes based on whatever inspired her at the moment. When someone ordered tropical snow, she made coconut ice cream with chili flakes. Desert rain became a chocolate mousse with salted caramel that actually looked like wet sand. Lucy and Tom were exhausted, but couldn't help laughing at the situation. Customers were taking selfies with their bizarre dishes and sharing stories about their interpretations of the menu items. "I got the sleeping forest mushrooms," one customer announced proudly. "They're mushrooms in cream sauce, but they're arranged like they're having a nap. Look, this one even has a tiny herb blanket." A professional food critic named Harold Fitzgerald arrived at 6 o'clock. He was known for his harsh reviews and had closed several restaurants with his criticism. Lucy and Tom were terrified when they recognized him, but Maria had no idea who he was. "Welcome, welcome," Maria greeted him personally. "You must try our special today, the dream of the octopus." Harold raised an eyebrow, but decided to embrace the experience. What arrived was actually a beautifully prepared seafood risotto with perfectly cooked octopus, even though the presentation included unnecessary sparklers that nearly set the tablecloth on fire. As Harold ate, he began to smile, then chuckle, then laugh out loud. He hadn't had this much fun in a restaurant in years. The food was actually very good. Maria was clearly a talented chef. But the chaotic translations and unexpected presentations made the meal unforgettable. That evening, as the restaurant was closing, Maria finally sat down with Tom and Lucy. They were all exhausted, but happy. The cash register was full, and they had bookings for the next 3 weeks. "Maria," Lucy said gently, "your food is amazing, but maybe we should work on the menu translations?" Maria looked confused. "What is wrong with translation? I use dictionary." Tom pulled out the dictionary Maria had been using. It was a Spanish-Italian dictionary, not Spanish-English. They all stared at it for a moment before bursting into laughter. "No wonder everything was so confused," Maria exclaimed. "I was translating Spanish to Italian, then Italian to what I thought was English." "Should we fix it?" Lucy asked. Maria thought for a moment, then shook her head. "No, I think we keep it. People seem to like the surprise." The next day, Harold's review appeared in the London Food Guide. The headline read, "Maria's Kitchen, where confusion is the secret ingredient." He gave the restaurant 4 out of 5 stars, praising it as the most entertaining dining experience in London, and adding that while you may not get what you ordered, you'll definitely get something memorable. Within a week, Maria's Kitchen became the most popular restaurant in Covent Garden. People came from all over the city to experience the confusion menu. Some customers even started a game where they would try to guess what they would actually receive based on the menu description. Maria hired 2 more waiters and a sous chef to help with the increasing demand. She also started a menu lottery on Fridays, where customers could order the complete mystery and receive whatever Maria felt like cooking at that moment. 3 months later, a television producer approached Maria about creating a cooking show called Lost in Translation, where she would teach cooking while hilariously mistranslating her instructions. The show became an instant hit, with viewers loving Maria's enthusiasm and unexpected language combinations. Tom and Lucy continued working at the restaurant while finishing their university degrees. They became experts at explaining the unexplainable and even created a guidebook for new staff called How to Describe the Indescribable, a server's guide to Maria's Kitchen. Regular customers developed their own strategies for ordering. Mr. Thompson, who had been the first customer, became a regular and always ordered grandmother's crying soup, because he knew exactly what he would get. Others, like Jessica, the food blogger, deliberately chose the most confusing items to maximize their adventure. Maria eventually learned proper English and could translate her menu correctly. but she chose to keep the original confused version. She added a small note at the bottom that read, "Our menu translations are intentionally creative. For those who prefer certainty, please ask your server for the boring explanations." The restaurant started offering cooking classes where Maria would teach participants how to cook while deliberately mistranslating the instructions. These classes were always full of laughter as students tried to interpret instructions like "make the tomatoes angry," which meant to char them, or "let the dough sleep until it dreams, let it rise for an hour." 1 year after opening, Maria's Kitchen won the Most Original Restaurant Concept award from the London Restaurant Association. In her acceptance speech, Maria said, "Sometimes the best things in life come from our mistakes. My confusion became my success. Never be afraid to be different, even if it's by accident." The restaurant continued to thrive, and Maria opened 2 more locations, each with their own uniquely confused menus. She also published a cookbook called Cooking in Confusion: Recipes Lost in Translation, which became a bestseller despite nobody being quite sure what half the recipes were supposed to make. Years later, when asked about the secret to her success, Maria would always say, "The secret ingredient is not knowing what the secret ingredient is." And somehow, that made perfect sense to everyone who had ever eaten at the Restaurant of Confusion. The story of Maria's Kitchen became a legend in London's food scene, proving that sometimes the best path to success is the one you never meant to take. And in Maria's Kitchen, confusion wasn't just welcomed, it was the main course.